The 2005 Prius actually has two batteries. The main traction battery provides the high voltage power for the road. It's not something to mess with, and Toyota has been careful to place it safely out of reach. The second battery is the typical 12-volt kind, although Toyota's auxiliary battery is specifically designed to fit beneath the Prius hatchback compartment. Because it sits within the passenger zone, Toyota has placed a vent on the side of the battery. This gets rid of any hydrogen gas that may leak out of it. The battery is removed in this picture so you can better see the vent hose. Toyota's auxiliary batteries are expensive, but probably worth the extra cost, as they fit better and vent out hydrogen gas. If you're lucky, you can save money with the Toyota Parts discount coupon. These are sometimes available from Toyota dealers and on the internet. A great way to save substantially is to replace the auxiliary battery yourself. I cut my overall cost in half by using a 10% discount coupon and doing my own replacement. When the auxiliary battery dies, the electrical accessories stop operating. This includes lights, door locks, and the Prius computer, which means the traction battery won't operate either. You have a dead car, and if the doors are locked, your smart key isn't going to work. Fortunately, Toyota has built a mechanical key inside its smart key. With jumper cables and a second vehicle, you can get the car running again. If you don't know how to jumpstart your Prius, I have produced a detailed YouTube video on how to do this at tinyurl.com/Prius Jumpstart. Check it out. Just leaving the lights on overnight inside your Prius can drain the auxiliary battery. But, as with all automotive batteries, there will come a time when your Prius battery will no longer hold a charge. If your car needs a second jump start the day after you previously jumped it, you probably have reached this point. So what are you going to need to replace the auxiliary battery? Well, first you need a new battery, ideally purchased from Toyota. You will also need some hand tools, and I recommend that you have your Prius manual as well. You really don't have to have a battery charger because you can get started with jumper cables, and the car should charge up on its own during a long drive. A battery charger, like the one shown here, is convenient though, if you already have one or can borrow it from a neighbor or friend. If you do use a battery charger, remember to keep the charging current under 3.5 amps. A completely discharged battery will usually take all night to achieve a full charge. Here are tools which will be helpful. You don't need to have all of these necessarily. 3/8 inch and 1/4 inch socket drivers with 10 and 12 millimeter sockets. A 10 millimeter wrench. A slot screwdriver. And your Prius owner's manual. If you can't find your owner's manual, you can download a copy at tinyurl.com/2FPEKKM. If your auxiliary battery dies and you are locked out, you can get in with your Prius mechanical key. If there's a little charge left in the battery, you may also be able to open the hatchback door in the normal way. But suppose there's no charge left at all. The battery is toast and must be replaced. You have a worst-case scenario. You must open the hatchback door to reach and replace the battery, but the door won't open without battery power. The hatchback has no keyhole for the mechanical key. So what do you do now? One way to reactivate the hatchback door latch is to jumpstart the Prius. This provides the power to open the hatchback door. But there is another way. You can open the hatchback latch from within the car. Start by lowering the two back seats. Each has a button on the top which releases the seat, so it can be pulled down toward the front of the car. If you have a luggage cover, Remove it by pulling straight upward. Now remove the cargo mat if you have one. This exposes the fabric cover. It's locked in place by two knobs near the rear of the hatchback. Turn these knobs 90 degrees so the arrows point inward. Pull up on the tab in the middle between the knobs, and the fabric cover folds and stands upward. Lift it straight up to remove it. This exposes the luggage storage box. In the rear center is the hatch door latch cover. It pulls out from below, revealing the release latch. Push up on the latch and the lock should release. The door is heavy, but can be pushed up from within to raise it. If possible, have a helper lift the hatch door from outside the car. Snap the hatch door latch cover back onto the luggage storage box. It's small and you don't want to lose it. Assuming you have the required tools and your replacement auxiliary battery, you now are ready to go. Lift the luggage storage box straight up to remove it. On the right side of the hatch is the auxiliary battery cover. Notice the plastic tab reaching up the rear wall. Pull the tab away from the wall, and the cover should lift up and out of its other tab holes. So here's what you will see. The ground cable is clamped to the negative terminal of the battery. Loosen the nut with a 10mm wrench so you can slip the cable up off the negative battery post. I like to wrap the ground wire clamp in a plastic baggie for a little extra safety. In front of the battery is the brake supply power assembly. It's held in place by two 12mm bolts and washers at the base and a 10mm bolt and washer on top. Remove these and carefully swing the assembly out of the way. I recommend keeping all the removed hardware in a convenient container. I used a plastic cheese tub. The red plastic here covers both the positive terminal and the fusible link on the battery. It is held on by 3 tabs, which are easier to see in this view. Use your screwdriver and pry off the front tab marked with the yellow arrow. The other tabs should now release easily. The positive battery terminal is now uncovered. The next step is to move the battery harness. It is fastened in 3 places with 10mm fittings. Loosen the positive clamp nut, then remove the front bolt and washer and back washer nut. Lift the battery clamp and harness up and gently swing it out of the way. Now you need to remove the traction battery vent duct. It is held down by a 10mm bolt and washer in front and a 10mm screw and washer in back. You can now easily see the battery vent hose. Pull it away from the battery and lift the battery out of the compartment and store it in a safe place. Here's my original auxiliary battery. This is what it looks like in the car with the battery removed. And here are the fasteners you have removed from the car. This is my new replacement battery. Toyota usually sells these already charged up. Because I have a battery charger, I hooked mine up overnight before installing it, and I was careful to make sure the charger did not exceed 3.5 amps. Basically, we install our battery and reassemble the hatchback area in the reverse order. Let's review. Carefully place the new battery in position and insert the battery vent hose. When replacing bolts and screws, tighten them securely but do not over-tighten. This is especially important with the battery clamps. Too much torque can break a battery post or clamp. Replace the vent duct with its 2 fasteners. Gently work the battery harness into position and tighten its 3 fasteners. Snap the red positive terminal cover into place. Swing the brake supply and power assembly into position and secure with its 3 bolts. Fasten the ground cable on the negative battery post. Snap the auxiliary battery cover into place. Insert the luggage storage box. Replace the fabric cover and lock it in place by turning the knobs to their vertical position. Replace your cargo mat and luggage cover, if you have these. Raise up the back seats and close the hatchback door. In the event your new battery is not charged up, it's now time for a jump start. Congratulations! Pack up your tools and you should be good to go. Happy driving!